Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome into the Brahma Bullpen. Hey, Hoss, what do you think about my hat, Hoss? It's pattern after the team. Look, I even got a little brown bull up
How
on
about
there.
that?
Hey, what do you think about that?
Pretty
What do you think about
slick.
that?
Pretty slick.
Yeah, you know, uh, some of my boys from Arlington, the Los Banditos, spelled with a T. Nobody get mad. It's Los Banditos, not Los Banditos. They make some custom swag up there, and they busted out these cowboy hats. Look at this. They even got the horns wrapped around the back like the helmet. They busted out
There
some
you go,
custom
boy.
swag. All it cost me was a chicken fajita taco, a couple of cold beers, a bottle of water, and $60. But hey, man, whatever. It is what it is. Even producer got a hat, dude. My 60-plus-year-old father paid $60 for a custom hand painted cowboy hat
There
at the game
gum.
this weekend. Yeah, what the heck,
There
man?
gum.
We were missing out on the market, man. But hey, welcome into the Brahma Bullpen. You know what? The best part about this game was the tailgate and the hat. We had a great time. A lot of people complained it was a late game, but you know what that meant to me was more time for tailgating. We had a great event outside of the dome. There was barbecuing going on where it was pretty well attended. The tailgate looked pretty good. I mean, our attendance was pretty low. We'll talk about that later. A lot of people using the excuse of a Sunday game. I happen to think it's because the team's getting their butt kicked every week. But hey, that's just me. Go ahead and throw up the ridiculous score there, producer. And there you have it, 10 to 12. 10 to freaking 12, man. I don't know what's going on. Our defense is amazing. Our offense is terrible, just terrible. Uh, Reed Sennett came in looking pretty good there in the first quarter, but evidently took a bad step, made a bad stumble, rolled his ankle, out for the season. Little highlight we had, he's gone for the season. Go ahead, boss. Just jump on in there, man. Talk me off the ledge. Just say something.
It was pretty sad because you got to see just how good he was. He was way more mobile than Cohen instantly. Like you could see that touchdown pass he had was on the run, running, dude, and it looked so good. And then the one interception that he had, it was still the right throw to make. He just left the ball short. If he had thrown it the way he should have, it would have been a touchdown. The announcers are like, "Oh man, what a great defense!" Blah blah blah. They brought the DB back from over here because they knew what they're gonna. Dude, it didn't matter. He just made a bad throw. If he made a good throw, then it would have been a touchdown. It wouldn't matter what the defense had done. He had Deion Yeller open another 5-7 yards in the end zone. So I felt bad because you could see how good he was, before that happened, before his injury, obviously. Even the commentators like, man, this looks like it's fun. The guy after the game basically said it seemed like San Antonio's offense was going to be much better, taking a step forward, and then reverted back real quick. And then obviously Cohen doesn't provide the same mobility that Sennett does, but it doesn't even matter anymore between Sennett because
he's out for the season. He's got two good ankles. Dude, in Sennett's second drive of the season, okay, of course, now he had great field possession. Sure, and I'm not saying that he took him the length of the field and did all this amazing stuff, but in his second drive, 33-yard touchdown. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, pulling the strings or making the play calls there at offense. It looked pretty good. I mean, I got my hopes up. Looked to see like maybe something maybe had turned around. They interviewed Sennett on TV. His exact words were simple stuff, and were able to make plays. So Sennett was feeling good. Go ahead.
This is the comment I wanted to make was that they said, well, how do you feel about your new OC, Jimmy Johnson? He said, I think the offensive play calling is awesome. That's exactly what he said. And going along, he said it's simple. It's awesome. Having fun. So I really liked what the OC did as far as play calling the game. Even whenever Cohen was in, I really liked it. I mean, I just felt bad. I feel like we're struggling with him in. I mean, he did. He slipped on that. Jack Cohen slipped on the quarterback option. But just to read you their stats, Sennett was 13 of 19, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Wow. And then Cohen was 7 of 15 for 42 yards and 2 interceptions. You saw Sinnott had that one carry for 10 yards. And what I was going to say too was that I don't like Jack Cohen's pocket awareness. Like I feel like his pocket awareness is not there whatsoever. The pocket on the edges collapse, obviously, but the inside is fine for the most part. But a lot of times the edge is what's breaking down. And at one point, he gets whenever he had that fumble, he sees his right tackle get beat instantly, but he's still just like standing there. And instead of like reading the pocket, understanding that this edge rusher is coming around, he just saw his right tackle basically get dominated. He stays right there for like 3 or 4 more seconds and just lets himself get hit. But he had 20 yards, 15 yards worth of open space right here. If he had any type of pocket awareness, he would have like just moved up a little bit and been completely fine. We still would have had, maybe another opportunity for him to run 5 or 10 yards or have a good pass down the field. But he just didn't have that. You looked at Reed Sinnott the very few times he was in, he had great awareness. It seemed like he knew what was going to happen whenever the tackles were getting beat. I don't know, man. It's really discouraging when I really think about it. That whole game was just
it's what happened from at the beginning of the season. Cohen looked like he was going to be great for us, and it just kind of seems like he's tailed off ever since. I don't know what's going on with that. That's the injury to Sin is bad. It was a non-contact injury. He didn't get tackled hard. They didn't twist his ankle in the pile. He basically stepped wrong after he made a pass, and boom, messed up his ankle bad enough to be out the season. Producer, let's go ahead and throw up those highlights. Let's look at the positives here for the game from this past Sunday. Roll it.
Sinnott leaves the pocket, throws back in the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, San Antonio, TJ Vasher.
All right, Hoss. You see the touchdown pass. TJ Vasher, offensive player of the game, no doubt. Producer, go up and throw that little picture right there. Check out these stats, Hoss. 7 receptions, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I guess that's probably for the season, ain't it? Is that a season? Those are season stats?
That's correct.
Okay. You know what? They're not that good now that I think about it. I thought that was when I first saw the Santo and Brahmas tweet out that graphic you saw there. I was thinking that was for the game, but then I was like, wait, we didn't have 2 touchdowns in the game. So you know what? Maybe it just wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying?
No, our whole offense, except for that one drive, and it wasn't anyone's. It wasn't the receivers or running backs' fault. I mean, it's the tackles and the QB. Basically, our situation. There's nothing. The wide receivers and the running back can only do so much. I mean, Kalen Ballage only had 4 carries for 2 yards, but he had 5 catches for 42 yards. He's being used as a versatile back, especially if he can get those runs. But Patrick had 6 carries for 26 yards, and even he had 5 catches for 24 yards. So, I mean, basically, they're doing anything they can when they can. They're struggling too because they don't know which quarterback they're getting. It sucks.
Yeah, Hines Ward came out and said that Cohen's going to be a starter again. Pascal's going to be the backup. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a split deal. Sounds like it's going to be Cohen and Juwan's going to be the backup. But one thing I did find interesting, we talked about him a little bit in last week's episode, but George Luca with the San Antonio Express News was, obviously at the press conferences, obviously got some time with the coach. He was able to talk to Keith Patrick, the stud running back we got. We got 2 good running backs there, and Patrick gets about, 40% of the snaps. Asked Patrick about what they could do to change it up, and they said it'd be interesting to see if they could do a wildcat type of look. Hines Ward said only time will tell if they get that route. But what do you think, Hoss? You think it's time to get gimmicky on offense? We're going to start running trick plays and wildcat and hide the quarterback out on the edge like a wide receiver? What do you think?
I don't know. At this point, really, you can do anything, I would say, to try to get something going on offense. I'm not sure Wildcat is the answer, but I know that can be elusive. I mean, in order for a Wildcat to, I guess, be effective, you have to have a good quarterback that can be a threat at some point. And I don't know. I also don't like the idea of keeping Cohen as the starting. At this point, we should give Past an opportunity to see what he could bring. I mean, he's a big guy too, but what are we losing at this point is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you think, if we should even
I don't know,
not
man.
do that.
Really, what I think we should be doing is blocking people and running the damn ball. But what the heck do I know, bro? Let's look at a little highlight. The XFL started putting out some player spotlight type graphics out this week. Producer, go ahead and throw up that tweet there with your boy Jordan Williams, number 15 linebacker. So we do have a bright spot on our team. Evidently, Williams is the league's leading tackler, as you can see by this tweet. Check these stats out for the season, Hoss. 40 total tackles, 20 of those solo, and 4 tackles for loss. I mean, leading the league in tackles, getting those tackles for a loss. You can't hate. You can't hate on that. You can't hate on our defense. We gave up 12 points, man. I don't want to hear anybody say anything negative about anybody on defense. Okay, they're doing the work that they need to do. But gee whiz, man, 10 points.
Jordan Williams, dude, he's all over the field. Like, he is literally everywhere, every game. The guy is covering everyone, and he's got that dog in him. He got in some lineman's face in this game, bro. He got in some big lineman's face. He didn't care how big he was. I mean, I've already said how tall Jordan Williams is. He's not the biggest guy, but he's making a big impact. But I love that, dude. I love that mentality.
Well, let's talk about Arlington a little bit, man. They didn't do anything that impressed me or worried me. I think the game coming up this coming Saturday is definitely winnable. I mean, heck, the only win we have this year is on the road, so maybe we're a road team and we hate winning games at home. You know what I mean? But throw me some of those offensive stats with a whopping 12 points we couldn't overcome this past weekend.
So I was fine with their passing yards. Kyle Sloter was 14-26, 148 yards and 1 interception. But his total yards came down 134 after you had the sack losses. But they had 33 carry attempts on 119 yards and 1 touchdown. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, I guess that's a lot of the carry attempts, and that it's decent enough to have 119. But I really like them to be around, 70 yards. But there's only so much you can do whenever they're driving from all the way down the field, and having the ball in their hand feels like the whole game, because our offense can't stay on the field. Like our poor defense, they're tired. Like, dude, Jordan Williams had 11 tackles this game. 11. And not one of it was for a tackle for loss. So those were out on the field just running around. The poor guy. We had 75 total tackles on them, and they had 45. So they had 48. Sorry, we had 75. So we literally almost had 30 more tackles than them, 27 more.
You got time of possession? You got time possession right there?
Let me see.
I mean, if we're on the field like that, 75 tackles and then 38 tackles for the game, that's unreal, man. Like, that's one of those hidden stats people don't talk about, the number of tackles we got versus the number of tackles the other team got, because you don't really think about that much. But if your defense is on the field the whole freaking game, well, your tackle is going to be through the roof. What you got there, big dog?
Time of possession.
I mean, the defense is just working hard. They're on the field the whole dang gum game. I don't think Arlington's offense did anything that scares me. They didn't throw the ball that great. I don't think they ran the ball all that great. 33 attempts for 119 yards. That's not right on the mom type stats.
Yeah, no. They had 34 minutes and 30 seconds, and we had 25 minutes and 30 seconds. They had 9 more minutes total of possession. Honestly, I thought that was going to be more.
It felt like it should have been more, right?
It
Yeah.
felt like they probably had at least 15 to 20 minutes more time. I mean, I feel like they were just on the ball literally the whole time. And then they freaking ended up even getting the longest drive of XFL this season. I don't know. I think it was 98 yards. That was the longest drive of the XFL so far this season, I believe. And it sucks because we do have a good defense and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that possession. But, our defense can only do so much.
So for sure, this game coming up this weekend, I mean, I hate to just throw out stupid numbers, but good grief, dude, can we score 20 points or not? We're not going to win any of these games. Look, basically at this point, you're going to have to win out to even have a chance of doing anything significant. San Antonio's going to get to host the playoffs this year. But man, if you don't get your dadgum head out of your butts, you're going to just you're going to have some Yankee team in there or something. I don't know what to tell you. But hey, go ahead and pull up the standings there, producer. Okay, so check this out. You've got the standings there. You got the North. Everybody knows the DC Defenders, 6-0. They're at a class of their own at this point. And then you got the Battlehawks and Sea Dragons.
5-0.
Oh, sorry. My eyes are a little blurry. You're right. We're halfway through the season. I should have known that right when I said it. That's what you're here for, though, to correct me when I say things wrong. Thanks, buddy. Anyways, you got 5-0 DC Defenders. They got the Battlehawks, Sea Dragons are both 3-2, and then you got the Vipers 1-4. We have the Vipers in 2 weeks in Vegas. We got Arlington this week, back to back. They always say it's hard to win the same game, same team twice in the same season. So we'll see who makes adjustments. But if you look at the standings down at the South, Roughnecks 4-1, Renegades 3-2, Brahmas 1-4, Guardians 0-5. So you win this week, you go to 2-4, you get Arlington down to 3-3, put you one game out of second place. Who knows what will happen? Arlington has to play Houston again. Everybody's going to get a win over the Guardians, so we'll just see. But the Brahmas are up against the wall, man. They really need to win. They need to go on a 3 or 4 game winning streak and beat the Roughnecks for sure this weekend to have a chance for the playoffs. What do you think, Hoss? Are you still hopeful for the playoffs, or you already pretty much gave it up and you're already looking for next season here at the San Antonio Brahma Bullpen to see what they got when they come back in season 2? Where are you at?
Well, I like the next 2 weeks matchup. If we win in Arlington, which obviously I'm always going to say that the Brahmas are going to win, then it all comes down to what I say is week 7 matchup. You just said we have the Vipers, and then the Dragons are playing Arlington. I like their offense better than their defense, so I say they lose that game. And then I like our defense better than the Vipers' offense, depending on what offense we get that day, because they've been like this. You never know what the Vipers are going to get. It seems like, I don't know. So I like the Brahmas, obviously. So if we win,
we're going to hold them under 20. We're going to hold the Vipers under 20.
If we come up these next 2 weeks 2-0 and they go 0-2, then I really like our chances. We're going to see what happens. The week 8, we play the Roughnecks, and then they play the Guardians. So who knows what that will equal? That will be the tiebreak week, and hopefully we be able to fight it out. So, but then we play the Guardians the next week in week 9, and they play the Defenders. So I think it's going to come down to the wire, but we have to win this game this weekend.
You know the difference between the Brahmas and the Guardians? The Guardians have hope and look better now that they got that. What's that quarterback's name? The one that got falsely accused of giving away plays? Is it Dormandy? Is that correct? Falsely accused, dismissed from the team. Kept his head up, kept his head in the game. Comes in the game last week and actually gave him a pretty good spark there. And he's going to be the starter this week. So I think Orlando Guardian fans have something to look forward to. And I think everybody on Twitter owes that man an apology because they all thought he was guilty before even going to trial or whatever before the research was done. So I'm glad to see him back on the field.
Quentin Dormandy. He had
Man.
256 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Vipers.
Dang.
Well,
we need to. Yeah, I mean, he played great. For the Brahmas this weekend, we need to figure out the running game. And we need to try to get that 200-yard passing. And we're 20 points, man. We got to get close to 20 points. If we score 18, maybe we can win. If we score 20, we're probably going to win with our defense out there putting in work, man. Uh, Anything else, man, before we go on to week 6?
I'm just at this point. I want them to just get 190 passing yards and 100 rushing yards. Like I feel like that's stretching it, and that's sad.
We'll see what happens up in Arlington, man. And we're going to do some post-game react. The video watch for the YouTube channel, Brahmas Arlington post-game react from this past weekend. And then you'll really get to hear what we got to say off the cuff, no filters, no script, and just watch us react to that. So with that being said, producer, let's go ahead and throw up the week 6 schedule. Run through these real quick. You got the Seattle Sea Dragons going at Orlando. That's a guaranteed win. It's going to be 1 o'clock on Saturday. You got the St. Louis Battlehawks going at Las Vegas Vipers. Hopefully, St. Louis beats up on them a little bit so that they're a little tired for when the Brahmas come into town next week. That's going to be 7 p.m. on Saturday. Then the Sunday game, 3 p.m. Brahmas at Arlington. Score 20 points. Run the ball. Then you got probably the game of the week, man. Monday night, dude. We're getting a Monday night XFL football game. You got the Houston Roughnecks going at DC, 1-5-0, 1-4-1. I don't pick against Houston much because they're pretty daggum good. But, man, I'm probably thinking I'm going to lean DC in this game. But what do you think about having a first Monday night game of the season, Hoss, there for the XFL?
I think it's exciting because it's the 2 best teams. So
it's the 2 best teams, and I'm more excited about a Monday game than a Thursday game. Thursday games are cool, but dude, Thursdays suck. They're right in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to get to Friday. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have a Friday night game, a Saturday game, and a Sunday game, and a Monday game than have a game on Thursday. Any other days are better for me than Thursday. I know that they work for the NFL somewhat, but there's a reason why most NFL games are on Sundays, because that's when people who work have the day off and they barbecue and they drink and they watch football. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for the Monday night game. We're gonna do some player highlights right here. We're gonna do some player highlights. Check out these little pictures, little graphs they put out for these players. So Abram Smith with DC Defenders. Go ahead and throw that up, producer. Abram Smith, DC Defenders. 23 carries, 218 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The number 1 overall pick in the XFL is acting like the number 1 overall pick in the XFL. He's a leading rusher. He's carrying the rock. He's doing yeoman's work, bro. Check out Cody Lattimore. I'm a tight end guy. I want Elise Mack to be the number 1 tight end, please. But look at these stats for Cody Lattimore for the Orlando Guardians. 8 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. That's in the game this past weekend, dude. I mean, those are amazing stats. These are 1-game records that are matching probably what some of the Brahma offensive players have done all season. Let's go up and throw up Mr. All, Mr. Everything, Mr. Luis Perez. The Vipers aren't even that good of a team, but dude, look at these stats for this past weekend. 20 of 28. 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bro, if a Brahma quarterback did half of that, we would be 4-1. You understand? Yeah. It's amazing. Now, of course, he's not doing it by himself. He's got receivers doing work. He's got linemen doing work. It's a team game. But quarterbacks make or break you, man. And then the St. Louis Battlehawks player highlight from the past weekend, 9 receptions, 86 receiving yards. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that the league's put together these little graphics and stats and tweeting them out. People are getting to, save them as screensavers on their phones. We're getting to use them here. It's a pretty awesome deal, man, to have these different things out there. Look up the XFL's Twitter page. You can get all that stuff. The graphics with Jordan Williams as leading tackler was cool. The TJ Vassar stuff was pretty sweet. So, you got good games coming up this weekend. Be ready for Monday night. Come on, Brahmas. Let's win Sunday, and see where we go from there, man. I went by a booth there at the Alamo Dome, And I just, it was after the game. I'd been tailgating all day, but I think I found a way to win. I was given a secret on how the Brahmas could win a game. You ready for this, Hoss? You ready for the secret?
Tell me.
All right, you ready? It's going to be a video. Producer, go ahead and throw that video up there, man. I'm going to give you guys a secret to the Brahmas winning a football game. You want me to play it? Because have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
All right. I got a question. How many shirts do I have to buy for the Brahmas to win? How many?
I don't know. I don't even know if they won today.
They lost. Sir. How many shirts do I have to buy for the Brahmas to win a home game? How many? If it's 1,000, just tell me. I'll charge me.
You have to clear the stand.
I have to clear the stand for the Brahmas to win. I need a loan, somebody.
So that's it. That's it. All I have to do is buy every single shirt in the Alamo Dome with a Brahma logo on it, and it guarantees the win. Hoss, can I borrow some money? I can pay for half of the shirts, but man, I cannot pay for all the shirts. My wife would kill me. But that's what I'm gonna have to do. If that's what I gotta do, Hoss, to get some wins, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm gonna do that for the team.
Way to take one for the team.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
Man.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy some shirts and then I'm gonna just give them away to people that are tailgating down there. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into some metrics. Let's get into some numbers for the XFL. Let's first look at these attendance numbers for the week. So we are attendance numbers for week number 5. So the home games were, I'm going to just look. I don't want to do that because it's kind of unprofessional, but I'm going to hold this here, man, because I can't really see right now. I don't know why. Maybe it's from all the tears from the loss on Sunday.
Maybe from all the drinking. I don't know.
It could be. I might have to go see an eye doctor. But all right, so we got home games in St. Louis, in San Antonio, and in Seattle. Vegas also had a home game. So St. Louis, once again, came with it, 35,868. You got San Antonio, 13,274. Somebody was saying, like, it was a late game, blah, 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 Sunday. No, dude, the Brahmas are not winning. Even the Spurs in San Antonio don't sell out when the team's playing like junk. I'm not saying we're fair weather fans, but you only have so many hardcore fans that are go to every game no matter what.
Right.
Like myself.
Exactly.
And then we have a lot of Hoss fans that go to a game only when it fits his schedule or their schedule. And if there's no hype, if there's no wins, if there's no playoffs, it's not going to fit their schedule. And we'll call those, what do you want to call those? Casual fans? I think someone else uses the word casual. Oh, yeah. My boy Josh Pay uses casual. So we can't use casual. But maybe we'll call them fair weathers. We're going to just call them fair weather fans. They ain't going to show up when the team ain't winning. Some of that's on the team. You want a good attendance records, XFL? Get some teams that win at home. We want to see some home wins. Seattle Sea Dragons, 9,231. Vegas, 6,008. San Antonio is still number 2 in attendance, but man, we are getting our butts kicked by St. Louis.
Can you repeat the San Antonio attendance one more time, please?
13,274. St. Louis, 35,868. Dude, the city of San Antonio, population-wise, is literally like twice the size of St. Louis.
Yes.
Right? In our metro area, the San Antonio, New Braunfels metro area, which is how they started recording metro area, it's close to 3 million people.
Yeah.
New Braunfels is like 25 miles or so from the Alamo Dome. It's not that far, man. And then all these other cities around San Antonio, 13,000 people showed up. But, March Madness going on and everything else,
That is true. There is a lot going on this weekend, like a lot. So
yeah. Of course, there's no team from San Antonio in March Madness that I'm aware of.
No, but there's like a lot of teams in Texas that was in. I mean, there's Texas, there was Houston, obviously.
Don't ever cuss at me like that. You don't ever cuss at me like that. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. You know what, dude? Why did I say March Madness? I'm done. No more March Madness. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. So anyways, total fan attendance for the league, as you can see, 64,381. That's average 16,000 per game, each game. So there you have it. I'd like to see those numbers up a little bit. Of course, I'm pretty sure everybody would like to see those numbers up a little bit. But let's see how that correlates to TV numbers. Let's see who's watching on TV. We're going to pull that up right here, producer. Throw up the TV ratings there. So here we go. TV ratings. Seattle at Houston on ESPN, 256,000. St. Louis at DC, FX, 320,000. Vegas at Orlando on FX, 234,000. And then the San Antonio home game with Arlington on ESPN2, 246,000. Those don't include streaming numbers.
Streams, yeah.
I don't know why they're hiding streaming numbers. I don't know if it's proprietary and they don't want people to know how many people are actually using ESPN Plus to watch these games. I know that the game that I don't go to, I watch on YouTube TV, which is also streaming. I'm recording it. And then when I'm going through highlights for the show, we're watching that on YouTube. So there's no telling. And some of those have, 30, 40, 50,000, views on them anyways. And then there's 20 different people who put it on YouTube. So, the numbers are probably a little bit higher than that. But man, it would be nice if they released them, because you got the USFL coming up. You got people that are going to say that the XFL is not doing that great and sort of failing, and that they better be careful because when the USFL starts, they're going to start stealing viewerships. Man, I don't really know what's going to happen. It'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on the USFL once it gets launched and see what their numbers are like and see how they do. They're in year 2. We're in year 1. But man, I don't think the football is bad. I think San Antonio's football is bad, but I don't think every team's football is bad. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why DC has an undefeated team, and they're over there. Let me see what their average for DC. DC had 11,521. They've had total, if you add up all their games together, they've had 40,171 people attend those games. The St. Louis did that almost on week 1 with 1 home game. So I don't know, man. I wish my team was undefeated. I'd like to go and then drink some beer and participate with the beer snake. What do you think? Would you be down with that?
Oh, of course. That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Like if San Antonio was doing great, even if they were second in division, not undefeated, but if they were, 3-2, 3-2, I fully expect those numbers to be better. But I do think come week 7, when's our next home game? Week 8 against Houston, I do fully expect the numbers to be up there, especially if we win the next 2 weeks against another Texas team. I don't know.
We got some Houston people coming down, man. I don't know if you saw our tailgate video. If not, go on our YouTube channel, look for our Houston fan event tailgate video. We got some Houstonians that are coming down to San Antonio, and they're going to tailgate with us and party. I sure would like to think I have a chance in that game, but I don't know, man. It just ain't looking that great.
I know you're expecting me to say something, but I'm not going to say anything encouraging, so I'm not just going to keep my mouth shut.
I want you to say that I'm overreacting and that our team is actually good and we're getting healthy and Cohen is going to start.
I'll tell you one thing.
Please.
Our boy Landon Akers is coming back.
Oh, that's correct.
He had a great first game. Like, he was like a really good playmaker in the first game against St. Louis. We'll see if he makes a big difference, which I'm sure he will. I mean, wide receiver passes with Jimmy Johnson. Go ahead.
I saw Brown catch a wide receiver screen pass this past weekend, and I got a little excited. But then they never did it again. I don't know. I don't know. I think Akers, is going to be the starting punt returner as well. So that's legit, man.
I love that guy. I love him. So
yeah,
he's gonna be a spark. So let's see what happens.
I want Akers. I want Elise Mack. I want either running back, and I want Cohen to take big steps forward under Jimmy Johnson's offense this weekend. And I want to see us score 20 points. We get the dub if we score 20. You good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with any type of dub, any way we get it. It seems like Cohen. One guy told me this week. He said it seems like Cohen has gotten worse every single week, which is really sad to think about, but it also seems kind of true, you know?
Hopefully, he was definitely better. He was definitely better at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, yes, we have our quarterback. And now I'm like, oh, crap, we don't have a quarterback.
We don't have a quarterback. So hopefully another week getting first string snaps with this OC will help him get more comfortable, see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see, man. But we're going to go ahead and call it right there. Come back next week. We'll talk about hopefully a dub in Arlington, go over some of the other scores, and start looking forward to that Vegas game. You got anything you want to throw in their house? No more good news you're going to just pull out of nowhere for me?
I got nothing. That was what I had.
Hey, you like my hat or not? You didn't tell me. Be honest with me. Why are you making fake? You know what, bro? You ain't even wearing a hat. Look at you with your little slick side here. Get that out of here. Anyways,
we can't even compare. Baby. We can't even compare.
Hey, Brahma Bullpen ain't no fair weather fan. I've been at every game. You understand what I'm saying? As always, baby, let's get some offense going. Run the ball. Horns forward, baby. Let's go, Branhmas.